Greetings, my name is Neosekken, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Corpse Party Book of Shadows. In the last episode, Miss Yui was visited on the way to school by a mysterious old creepy woman who attempted to give her a charm with her name on it and warn her quite urgently not to go to Heavenly Host. Although she didn't exactly give Yui the specifics on why exactly she shouldn't go. But, well, I'm pretty sure that even if she was given the specifics, Miss Yui would still be here anyway, at the school right at this time. But I am getting a little ahead of myself. So after this weird encounter, after the old woman collapsed due to weakening strength and had to be basically hauled off to the hospital, Miss Yui told the story to both some friends of hers at school, to all her friends at school, and, well, they basically told her about one of the 7 wonders of Kisaragi Academy. And one of them is Yoshie After School, where the short of it is, there was a teacher that died a long time ago at Heavenly Host, whereupon patrolling the building, she was pushed down a flight of stairs and died. But she haunts the schools of Kisaragi Academy, thinking that the halls that she's wandering is her old halls in Heavenly Host Elementary, not having any idea that she's dead, for one thing, and that Heavenly Host isn't around anymore. So this only heightened Miss Yui's anxiety over the whole encounter with the old woman and what she tried to warn Yui about. But shortly after getting home that day, she realized that she forgot the lucky pencil that was given to her earlier, and so she ended up charging right back here to school to go get it, even though I kind of questioned why she couldn't have just simply left it here for school, since she needed to come here anyway for her entrance exam. Oh, wait. I think I'm missing... Oh, wait. I think... Yeah, it's in the college. That's right. I'm an idiot. I kind of thought that the entrance exam would be held here, but if she's going to a college that's not in any way connected to Kisaragi Academy, it wouldn't make any sense for her to take the exam here. So, my apologies. I had a brain fart last episode, and at the start of this one too. Either way, so yeah, I guess you're not quite as you didn't quite make a dumb decision as I thought you did, Miss Yui, so I apologize. Anyway, we're here, we got the pencil, and now Miss Yui is deciding whether or not to live the dream a little, and is staring longingly at the teacher's podium, and, well, I think I'm going to just leave the room.
ダメダメ。ここは遊んでないでとっとと学校出るべきだよね。
Okay, I really don't have time to play around right now. I should get out of here. I decided it would be best to put my yearnings aside and leave the classroom behind.
七不思議だなんてやっぱり迷信じゃない。
Well, that particular wonder turned out to be nothing at all, it seems. Guess it's all just superstition. I couldn't believe I'd gotten all indignant with Tsukasa over something so trivial. Thinking about it now, it seemed kind of ridiculous.
さてと、家に帰ろうかな。
Alright, time to head home.
今日は明日に備えて早く寝なくちゃ。
I have to get to bed early, so I'll be ready for tomorrow. With this in mind, I walked toward the classroom door and took one step out into the hall. Then suddenly... Huh? Oh boy. So, I guess I should have indulged in her fantasy. door slid shut on its own with incredible force. My neck was trapped in the narrow opening that remained. I dug my nails into the door, frantically trying to open it back up. But the more I pushed on it, the more it pushed back, further constricting my neck. I was flailing my limbs, twisting and contorting my body, trying everything I could to escape. Why? Why? My neck was clamped tightly. I could feel the blood rushing to my head. I couldn't breathe. Opening my mouth in terror, I stuck my tongue out as if trying to swallow the air. Forcefully shaking my head left and right, I swiveled my body to face the ceiling. That's when I saw the tall, pitch-black silhouette of a person. A silent scream squirmed its way out of my throat, but the sword was still pressing onto my neck. I can't. Tsukasa! My vision whirled and I felt a sensation of falling. You got beheaded. At the same time, a lukewarm liquid began pouring over my face. What? As I was struggling to make sense of what was happening to me, the door had been violently crushing my neck quietly slid open. The floor of the schoolhouse came down hard on my head. My vision had gone white and begun blurring, but I could still see. I can see my body. I was rolling across the hallway, and there, in the doorframe, I caught sight of my own headless torso collapsing in a heap on the floor. This is not going to be a pleasant sight for everybody coming to school tomorrow. What just happened? The last thing I saw, out of the corner of one bloodshot, unfocusing eye, was the familiar figure of the old woman from this morning. You old bitch, I thought you were trying to help her. How exactly is beheading her helping? Wrong end number 1. Okay, so I guess we gotta violate common sense after all and just live the dream.
Yoshie, 少しだけ先生の気分を味わっちゃえ。
How can I pass this up? It's a chance to feel like a real teacher. I decided I had to try it. During daily cleanup and such, I'd come and gone from this spot countless times. But this was the first time I'd ever had an opportunity to just stand here and proceed over the classroom.
そうか。先生からはこんな風に見えるんだ。教室って。
So, this is how it looks to a teacher, huh?
なんかちょっとドキドキする。
It's kind of awe-inspiring. Getting a teacher's point of view, in the most literal sense, it was starting to get me really fired up. It may seem silly now, but this was my stage. This is where all my dreams would play out.
私もいつか。
You really are quite passionate about your dreams. It's pretty admirable, I will admit. Someday. I began to imagine the future that awaited me. painstakingly detailing some new piece of knowledge for students, sitting attentively at their desks, gliding chalk across the board, filing it with information to aid them in their studies.
いつか先生になれるといいな。
Would you stop playing the organ? Miss Yui's dreaming here. I sure hope I can make the cut one of these days. I was getting so excited that even I began to think my behavior was a little strange. Why is the organ piece in the background reminding me of Parasite Eve? Must be the organ. Sounds kind of similar to some songs that I've heard in the game. Maybe it was the juxtaposition of these joyous, freeing visions and the prickling dread I've been... Sorry, I thought I saw something in the corner of my eye. Maybe it was the juxtaposition of these joyous, freeing visions and prickling dread I'd been feeling up until just a minute or two before. But then, in the blink of an eye, one of these two conflicting emotions completely overpowered the other. Who turned off the lights? That's rude. Huh? Crap. Is this a blackout? Suddenly, my surroundings were bathed in darkness. Going stiff with shock, I stumbled back a step. My back struck the blackboard with a dull thud.
いきなり何?
What awful timing. I instinctively grabbed hold of the rail where the erasers sat. I felt chalk dust against my fingertips. My panicked heartbeat was making it difficult to breathe. Was this caused by the thunderstorm? If so, it sure picked a fine time to turn the lights out on me.
しかもオルガンの音まだ響いてる。嘘なんで？停電になってるならオルガンだって鳴らないはずなのに。
And what's more, I can still hear the sound of the organ. But no, it's an electric organ. How is that even possible with no power? You must not go! You know, this little droning noise I keep hearing, it's kind of reminding me of the droning noise that I heard occasionally in Corpse Party Rebuilt. I wonder if it's a remix of sorts. Was this what the old woman was trying to warn me about? That's impossible. She was no fortune teller or psychic, as far as I was aware. How could she possibly have known this would happen? Time travel! Hell, even if she were a fortune teller or a psychic, predicting the future is the stuff of science fiction. I shook my head.
落ち着くのよ、私。音楽室の方はまだ停電になってないとか、きっとそんな理由だよ。
I need to calm down. Maybe it's just this wing that lost power, and the music room is still okay. Seems plausible, right? If a circuit breaker knocked itself out, then yeah. Or fuse. Excuse me. I curled my chalk-dusted fingers into a fist and silently tried to talk some sense into myself.
ともかく、早く校舎を出よう。
I've got to get out of here. I shouldn't have been playing teacher. I should have been in and out by now. Cursing myself a little, I fumbled my way through the darkened classroom. Yeah. I'd spent so much time in here, You'd think I'd be able to find my way out of it, with my eyes closed as it were. But sadly, that wasn't the case. Smashing loudly into a desk, I knocked on its side and began tumbling after it, instinctively grabbing the other desks around me for support. Ugh.
いけない。机の中身撒き散らしちゃったよ。
Damn it. Sounds like I knocked a lot of stuff out of that desk.
元に戻さなくちゃ。
Guess I'll need to put everything back. Still fumbling around blindly, I gathered up all the scattered notes, textbooks, and writing utensils.
でも、暗くて何がなんだか。もう何やってるのよ、急いでるのに。本当にドジなんだから。
Ugh, I can't tell what's what. This is so embarrassing. What the heck am I doing anyway? Wasn't I supposed to be hurrying home? I'm such a klutz. I let out a sigh. I seem to be doing that a lot lately. So stop it. Stop sighing.
これは教科書とノートでしょ?
Okay. This is a textbook. And this is a notebook, right? I was trying to take inventory of all the things I'd knocked out of the desk. Then realized, why? I might as well just stand it up and stuff it all back in.
さすがに全部を間違いなく元に戻すのは無理だな。明日ここの席の子に謝らなくちゃ。
I couldn't possibly organize it properly in absolute darkness. Better just to apologize tomorrow to whoever sits here. Okay, so you are coming here after all, so I wasn't just... So I didn't just misread the situation about the whole pencil thing earlier, so... Yeah, you coming here is still totally unnecessary if you're gonna come here tomorrow and do your stuff anyway. Not that it was a particularly pleasant prospect. Explaining what I'd done wouldn't be easy, and no matter how I sugarcoated it, it would serve as a clear indication of my clumsiness. If I didn't say anything, it's not like I'd be found out. But that would be the same as lying as far as I'm concerned. And I couldn't do that. I don't really see how you would think of it as lying so much as just you getting away with a very petty crime. At worst.
これで最後かな?
Okay, I think I got everything. I placed my hand against the floor and swept it around, feeling for anything I might have missed. And I found something all right. Ew!
何これ?
Gross.
なんだかぬるぬるして.
What is this? It's all slimy. Ugh! I clearly brushed my fingers across something, but I had no idea what. It was no notebook or writing implement, though, that's for sure.
机の中からなんでブニュブニュしたものが?
Why would anybody have something like this in their desk? Maybe been on the floor all along.
なんだろうこれ?
What is this stuff? I rubbed my sticky fingertips a bit deeper into the wet spot, then brought my hand up close to my face so I could get a better look at what was there. Some kind of body part, isn't it? Probably an organ. What on earth did I just touch? There was a flash of lightning almost immediately joined by a roaring thunderclap. And with it, for a split second, the pitch-black classroom was lit up as bright as day. Oh! God, is that blood? And something just appeared on that desk right here. What is that? This thing. I shot to my feet, utterly mortified. In that split second, I got a very good look at my fingers. And it really did seem as if they were covered in blood. But it wasn't just my hand. No, if my peripheral vision were to be trusted, it looked like the entire classroom was stained a deep, dark crimson.
そういえば、なんとなく生臭い気がする。
Crap. It kind of smells like blood in here too. Well, prepare yourself. It's undoubtedly going to get a hell of a lot worse from here on out. And I think well, I'll wait until we actually get pulled in, if I get pulled in. To Heavenly Host, I mean. Without thinking, I backed away from where I'd been crouching. I tried rationalizing what I saw. How could a whole classroom become a bloodbath like this? Did something spill? Did someone stumble in here injured? And left blood all over from floor to ceiling and wall, everywhere in the classroom. They are either the fattest person alive, or they just simply have really high blood pressure, and just poking at them with a needle or something will get blood to spray everywhere like a high-pressure hose. Hence the blood getting everywhere. Either way, I don't think either option is likely. Yeah, it's gonna take a lot more than just someone stumbling in here injured just to leave that much blood everywhere.
ありえない。そんな、何よこれ!
This isn't possible. It can't be. I mean, how? My whole body was quaking. I fled from the classroom. Or rather, I tried to flee.
開かない!
What?
やだ!
Why won't it open? No. Please, no.
鍵なんてかかってなかったのに。今だって鍵はかかってないよ。それなのに。どうして?
I don't remember locking it. And it isn't locked. So why can't I get it open? I pulled on the door handle again and again in a frenzy. I was pulling so hard, it felt like my fingernails might tear loose. But it just wouldn't budge.
なんでよ!
Why? Why? Please! I was absent-mindedly grabbing at my hair with one hand and slamming my fist on a nearby desk with the other. This was a nightmare.
やだもう! 何これ!
Please. No. What is going on? Silence saturated the inky blackness of the room. I took several deep breaths in an effort to restrain my pounding heart.
とにかく一度落ち着かないと。そもそもドアが開かないのだって私がこんなにパニックになってるせいかもしれないし。
Calm down. I have to calm down. I'm probably just panicking because the door won't open.
さっきの変な塊だってきっと何かの勘違いだよ。だってありえないじゃない。教室にあんなわけのわからないものが落ちてるだなんて。
I'm sure I just misidentified. Whatever that is on the floor. I mean, it's preposterous, right? There's no way something like that could be. I was certain that when I saw what it actually was come morning, it ended up being something totally random. Like someone's old soda-stained gym clothes.
きっとそうだよ。そうだ。指についたのだって美術に使う絵の具かもしれないじゃない。
That has to be it. Yeah, I probably just brushed against somebody's paint for art class or something. I don't know, I thought I heard you speak soda just now. Unless soda is Japanese for paint. My imagining was just running wild because I was panicking.
もしかしたらドアに何かが挟まってて開かないだけかもしれない。
And the door probably just has something caught in it. That's all. I decided to check out that hypothesis by feeling my way across the door and determining if anything was jutting out from any of the cracks.
ダメだ。真っ暗で何にも見えない。
Damn. Not sure I can do this without being able to see. I fumbled around the gaps in the floor, but I just couldn't make anything out that'd be doing this. And the classroom's rear exit seemed a world away.
他の出口は
There's another way out of here. No, this was the third floor. I couldn't get out of this classroom without exiting into the hallway.
今すぐ外に出たいのに。
Let me out. I want out! Still at a loss, I noticed a sudden flash of light through the hallway window. But the glass was only translucent, so I couldn't be sure of its source.
誰か歩いてくる。
Is somebody out there? Then there came the distinctive clomp, clomp, clomp of footsteps. Probably Yoshie patrolling the school.
そうだ、きっと用務員さんだ。
Oh, of course. It must be the custodian. I recalled the existence of a custodian who always patrolled the school grounds. I was sure he must have been taking a look around after the sudden power outage.
助かった。
Great. I'm saved. All at once, my fear-addled legs regained their strength. This nightmare would soon be over.
すみません。
Excuse me! I shouted to the custodian through the window, as loudly as I could muster.
すみません。閉じ込められてるんです。
Excuse me, I'm trapped in here. I had to be sure he heard me. I shouted again. Finally, I could see the light out in the hallway again, and it seemed to be getting closer. However,
なんかこの光おかしい気がする。
something's not right about this. Perturbed, I took a step away from the window.
懐中電灯だったらもっと明るいよね。この光はなんだか。
If that's a flashlight, shouldn't it be brighter? It kind of looks like the faint unearthly glow classically attributed to spirits, was what I was thinking. I tried to stop myself from finishing that thought, however. Dullness aside, it also looked like it was wriggling around in a very unnatural, very unflashlight-like way.
それにこの足音。
And these footsteps. 4 clumps, then a 3 or so second interval, then another 4 clumps. They were sounding in a fixed rhythm.
用務員さんじゃない。明らかに変な歩き方。
That's no custodian. Nobody walks like that. The fear was back, in full force. I had to find somewhere to hide. What if I'd accidentally summoned something inhuman? I mean, whatever that was, I begged for it for help. I literally invited it in.
どこか隠れるところ。そうだ。
I need to hide, but where? Well, I'm quite certain that choosing one of these things is going to result in a bad end of some kind. Or, no, wrong end. I'm not playing Corpse Party Rebuilt, so wrong end from here. I'm gonna go with the podium. I hurriedly hid myself beneath the teacher's podium. I grabbed my knees, curled up, and made myself as small as I could.
なんなの。一体どうなってるの。
What is this? What's happening? The footsteps continued to draw nearer and nearer. Clomp, 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 clomp. Little by little, the sound grew louder. Every hair on my body was standing on end.
このまま通り過ぎてください。お願いします。
Please just pass by. Please. I held my breath, clasped my hands together, and silently prayed. They were close now. Very, very close.
神様
Please, God. Why was this happening? I couldn't make any sense of it. I just wanted it to be over. I prayed to God that it would end. Was this what the old woman was trying to warn me about? Was this all happening because I ignored her? Because I didn't take the paper doll from her? Was it because I'd heard the ghost story of Yoshie and allowed it to get to me? Or did the strange events of the day have nothing to do with what was happening to me now?
口から心臓が飛び出しちゃいそうだよ。
Feels like my heart is going to burst out of my chest. I was still holding my breath. I didn't dare let even the tiniest of sounds escape and give away my position. I think it's at the door now. The consistent rhythm of the footsteps suddenly ended halfway into one of its cycles. And it had ended right in front of this very classroom. Yep, that be a ghost. And going by the silhouette, is that the old woman? I had goosebumps up and down my arms and legs. I stopped praying and clasped my hands over my mouth. I knew I'd scream if I didn't. Could this be Yoshie? Was the school legend real? All I could do was close my eyes, keep my mouth shut, and hope that whoever or whatever this was would just go away. But the footsteps sounds didn't start again. If this was indeed Yoshie, then she'd stopped in front of the classroom and was just standing there. I had no concept of time anymore. I stayed in my hiding spot for what was probably only a few minutes, but felt like at least an hour.
足音が消えた。
Maybe whoever it was is gone. If you didn't hear any sounds, then it's highly unlikely. I decided to carefully peek out from under the podium. I gingerly edged my head out just far enough to get a glimpse of the room, when suddenly... That's definitely more than 4 taps. The footsteps rang out once more. It sounded like they were headed right for me, and they might have been inside the room. I honestly couldn't tell. I scrambled back into my hind spot and covered my mouth with both hands. I'm just picturing this blue glowing silhouette here just basically running and moving its legs really fast, but only going like actually moving really slowly across the classroom here. Just, I don't know, to draw out the fear and tension for Yui. A hell of a lot of leg work, but not a lot of distance being covered. This is too much for me. My breathing was coarse and erratic, My face was a mess of tears and snot.
神様、助けて。
Either that, or maybe it's just running in place. Just for the hell of it. It was inconsolable. I was inconsolable. The footsteps just wouldn't stop. What on earth were they doing? It almost seemed like they were running around in circles just to scare me.
やめて。もう、やめて。
Well, again, they could be just going in a straight line at you, but actually moving really slow, or just doing it in place. You can't discount those two options, at least. Stop it. Please, just stop. Please stop it. I mouthed these words over and over again, and moved my hands to my ears in a vain attempt to block out this torturous sound. Yeah, please stop here. The longer you do this, the more funnier it gets for me. And as if in response, the sound changed. It was a loud, dull thud, followed by silence. No more footsteps. I'd heard that sound hundreds of times before. It was the classroom door sliding open. I peeked out, but the door was still tightly shut. How could that be? The sound I heard wasn't the door. Then what was it? It's probably in here, right behind you. Ready to say hi. And then say die. And then you die. What little safety I'd felt here was pretty much gone. But to be fair, I wasn't absolutely certain the spirit had seen or heard me either. The prospect of stepping out into the open wasn't a desirable one. But I had to decide if it was better to stay where I was, or to make a break for it. So I guess podium was the right choice after all. Well, just leaving the classroom up and just got me killed when I was presented with a choice to just live out the dream at the podium, so maybe I should violate common sense again and just stay hidden.
隠れていよう。きっとやり過ごせるよ。大丈夫。
I'll keep hiding. He'll pass by for sure. He'll be okay. But it only took a moment for that decision to come back and bite me. Yeah, okay, so I see that this whole thing is being indecisive about whether or not it wants me to follow common sense. My body was suddenly way down in an instant. Without knowing what was happening, my fetally positioned form was essentially locked in place. It was like a boulder had fallen on top of me and was resting on my arched back. I twisted and shuffled myself around, trying to shake it off, but the more I struggled, the heavier it became. And what's more, it felt like it was slowly inching its way up toward my head, as if it were planning on dropping down in front of my face. Was this a person?
誰だ?
Guess who? Well, I think a better question for you would be, is it time for the school field trip? It was a female voice, reverberating ominously as if bubbling up from the depths of hell. I squirmed violently, desperate to throw her off of me.
皆さんで追いかけっこしましょうか?
Shall we play tag together? at least it felt that way. Whoever was on my back had dug her razor-sharp fingernails right into my eyes. Oh, man. I collapsed on the spot. The pain was instantaneous and unbearable. I could no longer hold my position. I could no longer focus on anything but this agony. You know, Yoshie, sight would be really useful in a game of tag. You're just making this unnecessarily difficult. My eyes! My eyes! Bad children must be punished. The pain shot through my head in waves. It was indescribable. Unthinkable. I couldn't take it any longer. My consciousness faded, and I was gone. I would never know exactly what had happened to me, but maybe I was better off that way. Probably were. You probably would have been better off. Yeah. So, which wrong end is this? Oh, number 3. I'm quite curious to see what would happen if I go to the supply locker, so before I actually continue moving on, I might as well see what happens, because I'm certain that choosing this option will probably give me wrong end number 2, because I got wrong end number 1 and now 3, so if this doesn't lead to number 2, then, well, I'll figure it out eventually. I hurriedly squeezed myself into the metal locker where the classroom's cleaning supplies were kept. It was still pitch black in the room, so I really couldn't spare the time it would take to remove its contents. Instead, I just contorted myself to fit. The locker was thick with the smells of mold and varnish. If I can hold my breath for just a little while, I think I'll be safe in here. So I waited. I waited for the footsteps to pass by and fade into the distance, signaling that it was safe to emerge. Whoever it was had better hurry. I feel like I'm going to suffocate if I'm in here much longer. Still, it felt a lot safer in the locker than it did out in the room. But the footsteps weren't receding. They were just getting louder, closer, faster. Why are you still giving me subtitles even though the footsteps have stopped several lines ago? And then they came to a sudden halt. Unless you're telling me Yoshie can move as quietly as a ninja? Now there's an idea. Yoshie was not just a school nurse of Heavenly Host. She was also the school ninja. In that case, it would make sense for her to patrol the school, because she would be able to quietly sneak up on bad children who were staying later than they should be and just, well, punish them. Miss Yoshie must have been absolutely terrifying to deal with in life. They were close, just outside the locker. I peered through the ventilation holes. Amidst the utter darkness of the classroom, there wasn't a soul to be seen. I'm okay. As long as I stay in here, I'll be fine. I'm not sure why I believed that. Maybe because I needed to. Maybe because it was so dark, or because I felt so much calmer in such a tight space where nothing could possibly sneak up behind me. I'm pretty sure something's gonna sneak up behind you anyway. I didn't know why, and I didn't care. I just knew that, as far as I was concerned, I was safe in here. So I stood, motionless and cramped, and I waited. I didn't have to wait long.
今、なんか音がした。
What?
鍵がかかったような。
It sounded like a door locking. Sounds to me like she locked you in the closet. Suddenly apprehensive, I gently nudged the supply closet door, just to make sure it would still open for me when I wanted it to. No, it's locked! Found you. I let out a sudden yelp at this unknown voice, and tried with all my might to push open the door blocking my escape. No. No, please! Let me out! Let me out!
まだ残ってるの?
Is somebody still here?
居残りしてた罰よ。
You'll need to be punished for that. There was a brief moment of silence following the eerie voice's unsettling proclamation. And then... Crash, crunch. The metal walls around me, on all four sides, began warping inward as if the supply locker had somehow been fed into a trash compactor. Not only is she the school nurse, not only is she the school ninja, she apparently has superhuman strength, so she is basically the school She-Hulk. Again, Yoshie, you're terrifying. No wonder your daughter's terrifying too, with a mother like you. How? What's going on? There was no force I could imagine that should have been able to do this. But it was happening. This already confined space was steadily closing in on me. No! It hurts! Open the door! Let me out! The collapse of the locker all around me continued, slowly and steadily. I could feel all manner of things pushing and cutting into my body. My vision went bright red. One of the blood vessels in my eyes probably burst from the pressure. I wasn't going to last much longer. The ventilation holes in the locker door were now pressed right up against my face. And through them, I could just barely make out the figure of a person. It was the old woman from this morning. She was standing just outside the slats, staring right into my eyes. So, okay, so twice now it's the old lady rather than Yoshie. So you're not Yoshie, so you're obviously not the school nurse, and you're not the school ninja, and you're not the school She-Hulk, but you seem to possess the abilities of a ninja and a She-Hulk. So you're still terrifying. But yeah, this old woman from this morning, she was standing right outside the slats, staring right into my eyes. It was the last sight I would ever see as the locker finally, inevitably, smashed in my skull. Crash, crunch, crack, splat. it's certainly worse than beheading, that's for sure, what you just went through. Okay, wrong in number 2. Alright, let's make a break for it. Staying in one place for too long seemed like it would be inviting trouble. So I took a deep breath and reluctantly crawled out, as quietly as I could. But almost immediately, I felt something. Something long and thin had struck me in the back of the head. Or perhaps struck isn't the right word. There was a little force behind it, but it wasn't a hard slam. More like someone trying to get my attention.
木の棒? これは
Is that
これ
wooden
は
rod?
指?
Or no, it's a finger? I knew I wouldn't like what I was going to see, but I had to face whatever this was. So, I turned around. And there, looming over me, was...
まだ残ってるの?
Is somebody still here?
早く帰りなさい.
Go home, child. A figure was peering down at me from above the podium, with one emaciated, wishbone-like finger extended toward my face. I recognized this person instantly. No doubt about it. This was the strange old woman who'd supposedly passed away earlier. I was scared out of my mind. I tumbled the rest of the way out from under the podium and shot to my feet. A ghost! There really was a ghost in this school. My breathing was ragged and my heart was pounding so hard I thought I might explode. Plowing through all the desks in my way, I ran as fast as I could toward the classroom door. But that was as far as I could go.
どうしたの?
What's wrong? There, on the other side of the door, tied up against the glass, was the old woman. She was glowing bluish white, the source of light from earlier. Yep, she's a ninja. She can teleport. But how in the world did she get to the door before I did? How'd she get out of the room so quickly and position herself so perfectly to block my exit? I felt like I was starting to hyperventilate, and I tried as best as I could to calm my breathing as my eyes darted about the room. I needed to get out of here now, to get as far away from this place as I possibly could.
前のドアから出られないとなると、外に出るには後ろのドアから出るしか。
If the front door is blocked, maybe I can get out through the back.
でもそうすると、廊下は前のドアにいるあの幽霊の後ろを通らないと出口にはつかない。
But if I do that, I can't leave the school without running right past her.
そんなの無理。でも
There's no way she'd let me by. But I have to do something. I bit my lip and continued scanning the room.
何かあれに対抗できるようなものがあればいいんだけど。
Something. If I just had something I could use to fight back. Well, maybe there are some scented beads somewhere. Find her a scent that her spirit doesn't like, and maybe it will repel it. I didn't have time to think carefully about it. I just had to grab something and hope for the best. There were two choices, and I had to pick one on impulse before it was too late. This is undoubtedly going to be the wrong one, but why not? Let's get the bag of salt.
科学の実験の時に使った塩の残りだよね。
This looks like leftover salt from an old chemistry experiment? I heard that salt was used in purification rituals, so it seemed like a natural choice. This is coming with me. I placed the salt in my pocket as a sort of protective charm.
怖いけど行くしかない。
I'm scared, but... well, here goes nothing. When I looked over, the spirit of the old woman was holding out her hand from the other side of the doorframe. She really was trying to catch me. I wasn't just being paranoid. She was going to kill me and turn me into a ghost like her. I was convinced. This had to be Yoshie, the teacher from that urban legend.
やだ、そんなの。
No, I won't let her get me. Well, if it's Yoshie, it doesn't really make sense to me why she would materialize in physical form outside of Kisaragi Academy just to tell you not to go to Heavenly Host, only for her to kill you if you show up there. Well, they're just saying she's got like some kind of split personality disorder or something. Bracing myself, I darted toward the door at the back end of the classroom. There wasn't a moment to lose. If I didn't act fast, I probably wouldn't be able to act at all. I threw the door open and just began running at top speed, hoping to escape behind the spirit's back. Unsurprisingly, trying to outrun a ghost proved to be a fruitless endeavor. The spirit saw me and moved at breakneck speed to intercept. Stop! Yeah! Don't come any closer! I thrust my hand into my pocket and withdrew the bag of salt, then threw the entire thing directly at the old woman's face. I don't think she liked that. She recoiled. That's my chance. I ran down the hall as fast as my legs could carry me, briefly glancing over my shoulder after a moment to confirm that the spirit was still writhing. I just kept on running down that dark hallway, with nothing but adrenaline and mortal fear to keep me going. I reached the stairwell at the end of the hall and made a mad dash toward the ground level. I was determined to get out of this building alive. Stop! Finally, still moving at top speed, I reached the window door leading outside. Almost there. I'm almost out! Luckily, the malevolent spirit hadn't caught up to me yet. It actually seemed like I might be able to escape. I might actually survive this. I made it! I grabbed the handle and tried pulling it. Huh? No. No! It's not opening! Why? Why? I'm so close! Well, you really didn't think it was gonna be that easy, did you? Is there a fire extinguisher nearby? Just throw it through the glass door. Break it open. Please! Please open! I'm begging you! I think of something else. At this rate, that horrible woman's going to... No, I can't let that happen. But what do? What can I do? Break the glass. Oh, hey. Putting my thoughts in order, I came to the sudden realization that I was right near the umbrella racks. Unless the spirit had taken it or something, my umbrella should have still been right where I left it. Ah, here it is. I practically tackled the rack, grabbing my umbrella in one swift motion. Not from the handle, mind you, but from the top. Then, taking aim at the glass part of the door, I swung as hard as I could, smacking it dead center with the sturdy plastic handle. You're gonna need something stronger than an umbrella. The glass wasn't going to break so easily, of course. But it did crack, giving me the impetus I needed to go in for a second hit. Break, damn you! Break! Again and again, I struck the glass. I had the umbrella gripped so tightly that the metal skeleton of the canopy was leaving indentations in my skin. I was sure there had to be a better way to do this. But I didn't have the luxury of time to figure out what it might have been. Stop! You must not leave! She's coming this way! I began smacking the glass even harder, even faster. My hands were killing me, but this was my only hope of survival. Finally, after far too much effort... Yes! I did it! The glass shattered onto the floor, making one hell of a sound. Tepid air whooshed in from outside. It was still pouring rain, but I was free now. Free to escape this hellhole. Okay. The pane I'd broken was on the lower half of the door, and I didn't care if I cut myself. I got down on my hands and knees and crawled like mad. I did it. I'm almost outside. I can actually escape. I'm safe. It's too soon to call victory. I felt triumphant. For a brief moment, the fear was gone, and I was basking in my victory over this malevolent entity. Huh? But it didn't last long. Before I was even halfway through the door, I felt something coiling itself around my arm. With a start, I looked back.
外はいけませんよ。
Oh, hi, Yoshie. I thought I was only going to have to deal with the old lady. It's good to see you, I guess? You mustn't go outside. A tall, shadowy figure had appeared behind me in the entranceway, and she had me in her grasp. There wasn't much more to her than an indistinct, flickering silhouette, but I could clearly see she had a broken neck. Was this a different apparition? Her scraggly, root-like fingers were squeezing my arm with tremendous force, pushing aside muscle and tissue and pressing right on the bone. No! Who are you?
どこに行くの？もう少しだから待ってて。
Where are you going, my dear? I'll just be a little longer, so won't you please wait for me? That hurts! That really hurts! I was shaking hysterically, and tears were streaming down my face. I was absolutely convinced that I was going to die here. Let go of me! Sachi. I could offer no resistance. She was too strong. All I could do was plead with her. Stop! Please. You're really hurting me! I felt like my arm would snap in two at any moment.
ずーっと一緒にいましょうね。
Let's be together. Forever. She wasn't just grabbing, but twisting as well. The pain was unlike anything I'd ever experienced before. I couldn't think about anything else. My mind was absorbed by the unconscionable agony. What the hell are you doing here? Shishido! Tsukasa? I thought my arm was about to snap off, and then all of a sudden, I was whisked away. Whisked away by Tsukasa.
大丈夫か
Are you okay?
どうして
Why? Tsukasa?
今足の子の言ってる場合じゃない。逃げるぞ
No time to explain. We have to run! What? Tsukasa was still holding on to me tightly after saving me from the brink of death. He led me back into the school at an incredible speed.
ちくしょうなんだよさっきのは俺は夢でも見てるのか
Damn it, what the hell was that thing? Please tell me I'm just dreaming. He practically spit these words as he continued running.
どうしてここに司くんが
Why is Tsukasa here? That's what I want to know. I tried to match his gait, and once we were a bit more in sync, I looked up at his face. After we'd reached the end of the hall, he suddenly veered into the last classroom before the stairwell, pulling me in with him.
シシドお前怪我はないか
Shishido, you okay?
大丈夫私は
I'm fine. I
もう一人で歩けるから
I can walk by myself, really.
ああ悪い
Oh, sorry. My bad. I moved away from Tsukasa and almost immediately spilled onto the ground like a house of cards.
おい大丈夫じゃないじゃん
Whoa, you sure don't seem okay to me.
そうだけどでも
Maybe not, but
すぐにあ
I just need a few.
無理すんなよ
Hey, don't push yourself. Tsukasa grabbed my arm to help me up. Unfortunately, it was the arm Yoshie had been twisting.
悪いやっぱり腕怪我してるのか
Oh, sorry. Is it your arm that's hurting you then?
よくわかんないでもすっごく痛いよ
Yeah.
焼けるみたい
I don't know how bad it is, but it really stings. Like it's on fire. I draped my other hand over the sore spot, where I assumed there was probably one hell of a bruise. I started rubbing gently, but it didn't help at all.
そうかじゃあ保健室ですぐに手当てした方がいいな
That's not good. We should get you to the nurse's office right away then, and take care of it.
でもそしたらまた
But then we'll be
あいつが来るって
exposing ourselves to that ghost again, right? Yeah. Just thinking about going back out there and facing Yoshie made me shudder. I couldn't believe he was even entertaining the idea.
心配すんなもし仮にあいつが来ても俺が絶対お前を守ってやるからな
Don't worry. Even if she comes back to get us, I'll keep you safe no matter what, okay? You got some salt on you?
司くん
Tsukasa's gentle reassurance actually made me forget the pain in my arm for a moment. I had to stop myself from blushing. Or try to, at any rate.
怪我は一刻も早く手当てした方がいいってまあどうせ先生なんかいないだろうけど応急手当てくらいなら俺にだってできる
We need to treat your injuries as quickly as possible, or they could get worse. The nurse may not be in, but I can at least apply first aid. Okay.
よし行くぞ
Alright then. Let's go. Tsukasa offered me his hand, and I graciously took it, squeezing it tightly as he led me back out into the hallway.
司くんの手あったかい
Tsukasa's hand. It's so warm. Despite the fact that nothing had really changed, I was still in just as much danger as I had been. The paralyzing fear I'd been feeling was gone. If it were just me, I would have never been able to do this. I would have frozen up. But with Tsukasa leading the way, I felt like I could do anything.
シシド、少し走るけど大丈夫か?
Shishido, are you okay to run? Sure. With my blessing, Tsukasa upped his pace significantly.
もうあいつが出てきませんように。
Please, don't let her show up. I prayed silently for smooth sailing as I followed Tsukasa's lead.
このまま司くんと一緒にいられれば安心。
As long as he's with me, I think I'll be okay. I gently squeezed his hand again, as if to reassure myself that he was still with me. I was starting to think maybe Yoshie was gone. Maybe we thwarted her. But of course, just as I was thinking that, she made her presence known again.
なんだってんだ。出てこい!
What the hell was that? Show yourself! Don't invite her to come here! An unearthly voice reverberated through the dark corridor. I immediately drew myself into Tsukasa's back.
もっと連れてこい。
Bring me more. You're the scariest I've ever seen you, Yoshie. Over Tsukasa's shoulder, I saw the same shadow-like spirit from before. It must have been waiting here to ambush us.
大丈夫! 落ち着け!
It's alright. Stay calm. But... The ghost was moaning and wavering before us. We'd never be able to get past it.
私のために何でもしてくれる。
You'll do anything for me.
おい、シシド。
Hey, Shishido. Yeah?
俺があいつを引きつけるから、
I'm going to drive
その
things
隙に走っ
attention.
て逃げろ。
While it's distracted, I want you to run.
やだよ、一緒に逃げて。
No way! We'll run together.
俺には秘密兵器があるのさ。
I got a secret weapon, and what's that? You... what?
俺のばあさんからもらった形見のお守り。さっきあいつにこれを向けたら少し弱りやがった。
It's a keepsake charm my grandmother gave me. When I pointed it at that thing earlier, it definitely had an effect.
形見のお守り？
A charm?
あ
Yeah.
でも司くんやっぱり危険。
But, Tsukasa, you'll still be putting yourself right in harm's way.
俺まあ、 なんとかなるだろう。
It'll be fine. I'll be fine. It'll all work out somehow or another. You're being awfully casual about this. It's almost admirable.
そんな。
That's not...
待ちなさい。
Stay where you are. We really didn't have time to be arguing. It was closing in fast. And as it did, I noticed the spirit's figure had become more defined. She was a tall young woman, with her head turned sideways at a 90-degree angle. The tale of Yoshie suggests she fell down a flight of stairs, so a broken neck would certainly fit.
早く走れ!
Go! Run! He gave my back a shove to get me started, and with no time to object, I unconsciously obliged. Tsukasa ran too, darting ahead of me for a few short moments.
おい、化け物! こっちだ!
Hey! Ghost lady! Over here!
待ちなさい。
Stop! Tsukasa! Tsukasa ran as close as he possibly could to get Yoshie's attention, then turned tail and began sprinting off in the opposite direction.
こっちだぞ! 化け物!
Come get me, you monster! Amazingly, it worked. The spirit began chasing Tsukasa, leaving me completely unobstructed.
どうしよう。私、このまま一人逃げてもいいの？
This doesn't feel right. Should I really escape without him? You also have the ghost of the old lady to deal with, too, still. I was torn. On the one hand, I knew this was my best chance. But I couldn't help worrying about what would happen to Tsukasa if his charm failed. I stopped for a moment and glanced over my shoulder. He was still running, and the shadowy figure was still in hot pursuit. Tsukasa! She's way too close! You need to take out your charm!
いいから行けって。お前が逃げ切ったのを確認したら俺も逃げるからさ。
It's fine. I told you to keep going. Once you're out of harm's way, I'll be right behind you. I promise. I still can't believe I fell for it. But this was right about when I realized the truth. Tsukasa had no protective charm. He just made that up so I wouldn't object too strongly to him serving as a decoy while I got away.
やっぱりダメ。
No, I can't let him go through with this. I stopped in my tracks and shouted at the top of my lungs.
待ちなさい。Yoshie 先生。
Yoshie! Hold it right there! I wasn't sure exactly what I was getting myself into, but I had to do something. And calling the spirit's name definitely seemed to have an effect.
あなたの名前知ってるわよ。
That's right. I know your name.
おいシスター。
Shido! What are you doing? All at once, the black figure was facing me, though I never saw her turn around. She was flying toward me now, ignoring Tsukasa.
怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない。
I'm not scared, 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 I'm not scared! I repeated this like a mantra, and stuck one hand into my pocket, grasping tightly onto the one and only item I'd stashed there.
お前は私を知っているのか。
So you know who I am then.
私には本当にお守りがある。
Unlike him, I have a real protective charm. Tsukasa's care, his efforts, his beliefs, they were all packed into this pencil. Yeah, okay, let's go with that. Let's just use his lucky pencil to fend off Yoshie. That'll work. Maybe you threaten to have her write her name down 100 times on a piece of paper. She'll get scared and fly off somewhere. You go for it, Miss Yui. You live that teacher dream of yours right down to the very end. And when you get right down to it, that's what a charm is, right? I squeezed a nubby little thing in my pocket, mentally preparing myself for the confrontation ahead. The confrontation I'd impulsively initiated.
シスター逃げろ。
Shishido! You have to run!
逃げない。私は逃げないわ。
I won't. I absolutely will not.
神様、どうかお願い。助けて。
God, please, protect me. I closed my eyes, lifted my hand from my pocket, and brandished Tsukasa's pencil intently. The gauntlet had been thrown. I was putting a lot of faith into this, and I really, really hoped I hadn't made a mistake in doing so.
私は獅子のゆい。この学校で先生を目指しているわ。
My name is Yui Shishido, and my goal is to become a teacher here at this school. I opened my eyes to find that the shadow spirit, Yoshie, had stopped dead in her tracks. Did it work? Was Tsukasa's pencil keeping his vengeful soul at bay?
私の代わりはいらない。死ね。
I don't need a replacement. Just die! I don't think she's after your job. Suddenly, I was whisked off my feet and slammed against the ceiling. Oh boy. I could see him down below. He was staring up at me and desperately leaping. He was trying to catch me, I suppose. Even though he knew he never reached. Tsukasa! I called out to him over and over again in my mind. If he could get away, if he could survive this ordeal, then would it all have been worth it? Yoshie was drawing near, and I was helplessly pinned to the ceiling. I had no chance at all. There was no doubt in my mind that my life was over. I clung to the relief I felt at Tsukasa's safety. It was the only thing keeping me from losing my head entirely. Then, all at once, the situation took a complete 180. It was like a miracle.
Shinozaki Yoshie! そこまでにせい!
Yoshie Shinozaki! Stop right there! Before I had any idea what was happening, I found myself bathed in a gentle light. A woman? From this morning? And now you're helping me, even though you were trying to kill me earlier, and then help me again, even earlier than that. Would you make up your mind, woman? On what you want to do with me? I'm sorry I was unable to protect you. But now, at least, the evil will spread no farther. It was the old woman who had collapsed in front of my house. She was standing down below me, enveloped in a warm glow. The black shadow lunged toward her. Then there was a horrific noise, and the old woman was gone. Shishido! Catch her, fool! And just like that, I fell to the ground. Whatever Yoshie had done to me, the old woman must have nullified it. That must have been why she came to me this morning, and why she had come again now. I felt like I was going to faint. Tsukasa ran to my side and gently scooped me off the ground into his arms. Yoshie's spirit was gone. She'd vanished along with the light. Around us now, the only sound was the pitter-patter of raindrops on the school roof.
Oi! Shishido! Shishido!
Hey, Shishido! Shishido? Tsukasa? I'd suffered quite a bump on the head from my fall. It was decidedly disoriented. But I still had enough sense to put my arms around Tsukasa's neck.
Baga! Nigero tte itta no ni!
You idiot! Didn't I tell you to run away? I'm sorry. It's just... I wanted to protect you. I couldn't bear the thought of losing you, is what I wanted to say. But instead, I just passed out in his arms. I felt as though I was waking from a long, horrible dream.
Oi, 大丈夫か?
Hey, you okay? Am I in the hospital?
Oi, Shishido?
Shishido? Where are we?
本当に大丈夫か? 見ればわかるだろ。学校の保健室だって。
Man, how our fault was that? We're in the nurse's office. Well, I guess there's also that too. Can't you tell?
保健室
Nurse's office. It occurred to me to look at my surroundings. Probably something I should have done before asking about them. But in my defense, I was out cold. Beige walls, pink curtains, white beds with solid blue covers. This was indeed the school infirmary, no doubt about it.
どうして
Why are you...
どうしてもこうしても、お前があんなところで倒れてたから、ここに連れてきてやったんじゃん。
A better question is why you're here. I found you passed out on the ground out there, so I carried you in.
あんなところ
Out where? Exactly.
おいおい、まだ具合悪いんじゃないのか？
Jeez,
肛門だよ、肛門。
Jeez, did you get a concussion or something? It was right by the school gate.
肛門に私、そこに倒れてったの
The school gate? That's where you found me?
そうだけど。
Uh-huh. Ring any bells?
私、確かに学校の中でヨシエさんから逃げて。そうだ、腕を怪我して。
But I was trapped inside the school and run from Yoshie, wasn't I? Oh, that's right. My arm. It's probably broken.
腕なんともない。
My arm's okay?
はあ？腕？
Your arm?
夢だったの？そんなはずない。だって本当に痛くて痛くて死んじゃいそうだったのに。
Was it a dream? No, it couldn't have been. I mean, it really hurt. And I really thought I was going to die.
ああ、まあなんか様子が変だけど、とにかく無事でほっとしたよ。
Well, you're still a little out of sorts. But I'm glad you're safe at any rate.
こういうのって虫の知らせって言うんだな。
Assuming that whole thing wasn't a dream sequence of some kind, why are you acting like as though none of that happened? I guess you could say I had a gut feeling, maybe.
なんとなく気になってお前ん家に行ったら、お前のお母さんに学校に行ったって聞いてな。そしたら、あんなところに倒れてるんだもんな。
I just got concerned and stopped by your house. And your mom told me you'd gone back to school. So I came by to find you and, well, I found you. Well, I guess I would explain why you showed up at the school.
司くん、
Tsukasa.
Yes, まあとりあえず詳しい話は後で聞くからさ。ちょっと待ってな。
Yes, there'll be time for thanks and such later on. Right now there's something I've got to do, so hang on a sec.
あ、
Okay.
司くん、行っちゃった。ヨシエさんのこと聞こうと思ったのに。
Where are you going, Tsukasa? I wanted to ask you about Yoshie.
あら、シシドさん、目が覚めたのね。
Ah, Shishido. Glad to see you're awake.
先生
Ma'am!
驚いたわよ。三國くんが血相変えて私を呼びに来るんだもの。私が当直でよかったわね。
He gave us both quite a scare. Mikuni was pale as a ghost when he came to get me. Lucky for you, I was working late tonight.
ご迷惑をおかけしてすみません。
And you didn't hear a thing. Okay. Well, then again, if you're far enough away, I guess you wouldn't have heard anything anyway, but still. I'm so sorry to have troubled you.
それはいいのよ。でも、あなたずいぶんうなされていたから、悪い夢でも見てたんじゃない？
It's fine, of course. But you know, you were really moaning in your sleep. Were you having nightmares?
悪い夢
Nightmares.
そうよ。三國くんもすごく心配してたわよ。
It seemed like you were. Mikune was worried sick about you.
そうだ。やっぱりきっと悪い夢なんだ。昼間に怖い話とか聞いちゃったし。
So it really was just a nightmare then? Maybe that scary story this afternoon was just too much for me. Yeah, I don't believe it. It can't have been a nightmare.
ともかく、もう大丈夫？
Are you feeling a little better now, at least?
はい。
Yeah,
そう、よかったわ。
that's good. The nurse smiled cheerfully and disappeared behind the partitioning curtain. Laying out a sigh, I laid myself down on the bed once more. It was dead silent. The rain must have let up. The only sound I heard was an occasional cough from the nurse, who was otherwise going about her business quietly.
あ、そういえばペンケース。
Oh, wait. What about the pen case? I thrust my hands into my pockets, not really expecting to find it, but
ちゃんとある。
there it is. The pen case, complete with Tsukasa's pencil talisman inside, was present and accounted for. The pencil will be my evidence that that wasn't a dream, and Tsukasa is just lying to me for some reason. Which meant that
私、やっぱり教室には行ったんだ。
I made it to my classroom.
やっぱり夢じゃない。
Maybe it wasn't a dream after all.
おーい。
Hey! Huh?
あ、司くんおかえり。
Oh, Tsukasa. Welcome back. Huh? What's he doing? I was still trying to remember exact details about what happened when I unexpectedly felt something cold press against my cheek.
これって。
What are you?
お前、うなされてただろ？汗もかいてたし、喉乾いたんじゃないかなと思ってさ。ほら、
You were
コーヒー牛乳。
You were sleeping pretty restlessly, you know, and sweating an awful lot. So I figured you might be thirsty. Here. It's a cafe au latte.
あ、ありがとう。
Oh, thank you. Tsukasa went out of his way to buy this just for me. It was a lovely gesture. How could I possibly refuse?
お前さ、明日というか、もう今日か。推薦の試験だろ？
Hey,
何時からだ？
Hey, isn't tomorrow? Or I guess it's today now. But either way, don't you have an entrance exam to take? What time does it start?
9時。
At 9.
あと4時間か。
So in 4 hours then. So it's 5 o'clock in the morning?
無理だよ。今日は。
God, I don't even want to think about that right now. After the day I just had. I've been put through hell on earth. Taking a test was the first thing from my mind. I was in tears, and I had no idea why. Maybe it was because I was so relieved. So glad to be alive.
Oh. よし。なあ、シシド。起きれるか？
Okay. Hey, Shishido, can you stand?
え？
Huh?
ちょうどいいから、お前にいいもの見せてやるよ。
The timing's just right, so I'm going to show you something good.
いいもの？
Something good?
おう。
Yeah.
そうだな。むしろ
Rather.、
お前には見てほしいんだ。
It's something I really want you to see if you're up to it.
うん。
Sure, I guess. Wait, is your other spot here in the infirmary? My nose was still running, but my heart felt a lot lighter. I no longer felt threatened by this school. I was comfortable and safe. The two of us left the nurse's office, with Tsukasa in the lead. Okay, it's not the infirmary, but it's gotta be somewhere close by, I assume. And even though I was holding a cold coffee in my hand, I still felt warm all over. Neither of us said a thing as he led me through the empty halls. It occurred to me that when we last saw one another, I was mad at him.
ほら、 シシド、着いたぞ。
Look, Shishido. We're here.
ここって渡り廊下？
What? Isn't this just the walkway between the buildings?
まあまあ、もうすぐだからちょっと待てよ。
Just wait. You'll see it in a minute. The sunrise, yeah?
もうすぐ？
See what? I had no idea what I was looking for. I just kept staring at him. But his eyes were fixed on the window leading out into the walkway. As I gazed upon him in profile, I felt my heart skip a beat.
昨日のこと謝らなくちゃいけない。
I have to apologize for what happened yesterday. But I just wasn't sure what to say. I let my feelings get the better of me, and reprimanded him for the behavior that was, at least at the time, entirely reasonable. There was more to it than that, though. There was one particular reason, more than any other, that made it hard for me to think of the words to say here. He and I had run from Yoshie together. We escaped her wrath against insurmountable odds. And what if that wasn't all just a dream?
お、出てきたぞ。
Bingo! Here we go. Huh? I followed Tsukasa's pointing finger and... Yep, sunset. I mean, sunrise, sunrise. That's what I meant.
すごいすごい
Whoa, it's beautiful. What an absolutely stunning sunrise.
俺、ここでよく夕日を眺めてるんだけどさ、朝日もいいもんだな。
It's actually the sunset I enjoy watching most from here, but the sunrise is pretty great too.
綺麗だよ。
It's gorgeous.
街がオレンジに染まっていく。
The whole town is painted orange.
お、元気出てきたな。
Looks like you're back in good spirits again.
ここって司くんの言ってた例の場所だよね。
This is the place you were talking about, what isn't it?
おう、
Oh. Yeah, it is.
今まで絶対に教えてくれなかったのに、どうして今日は教えてくれるの？
You've been keeping this spot from me all this time, so why now? Why are you showing it to me today?
別になんとなく。
No reason, really.
なんとなくって。
No reason, huh? I could think of a reason, but I didn't say anything. It just seemed kind of far-fetched to me, and if I were misinterpreting him, I'd be very embarrassed. He couldn't possibly... Could he? Why are we having... Never mind. My face felt kind of warm. I placed a sweaty cafe latte can on my cheek and sighed softly.
どうした？顔赤いぞ。
You feeling okay? Your face is really red.
そう？
What? It is?
まだ具合悪いんじゃないのか？
You aren't still feeling faint, are you?
そんなことないよ。ほら、朝日が赤いせい。
No, nothing like that. It's just... Yeah. It's the sun. Just the way the light's playing off my skin, that's all.
ああ、なるほどな。
Oh. Okay. Boys can be so dense sometimes.
試験頑張れよ。今からすぐ戻って準備すれや間に合うだろ。
Good luck on the exam, by the way. If you head back now and get ready, you should still be able to make it.
ありがとう。司くんのそれ好き。
Thank you. That's what I like about you, Tsukasa.
え？
Huh?
それとあとごめんね。
Also, I'm sorry
なんで謝るんだよ。
for... What?
いや、その、昨日、ほら、
Well,
なんかちょっと気まずくなっちゃったし、七不思議の話して。
it's just that yesterday, things might have seemed a little awkward between us. After talking about that school legend, remember?
そんなこともあったっけ？
Yeah, I think I remember something like that.
そんなこともって、私は結構気にしてたんだけどな。
What do you mean something like that? I was really bothered by it, you know.
女子はほんと細かいこと気にするよな。俺は全然何とも思ってなかったのに。
You girls obsess over the littlest things sometimes. Me? I don't think anything of it.
そっか。
Really now. I let out another sigh and turned back toward the morning sun, stretching my arms skyward as a sudden wave of exhaustion overcame me. The day got brighter bit by bit, and I just stood there, silently trying to piece together all the jumbled thoughts rattling around in my head. I was running away from Yoshie, and Tsukasa was with me. Then I was saved by that old woman.
やっぱり夢だよね、あんなの。
It really was just a dream, huh? As the bright rays of the sun washed over me, I felt new life and new hope welling up from within. And finally, I came to terms with those horrid events. Most likely, I got the pen case without incident. But then on my way back, something hit my head and knocked me out. That would be just my luck.
ちょっとシシド、動くなよ。
Oh hey, Shishido. Don't move. Huh?
そのまま。
Stay right there. Just like that. I didn't know what he was planning to do, but he was staring right at me. It felt kind of like he was staring into my soul. He's either gonna kiss you or he's gonna try to take a picture. I vote on kiss. And then... What? Slowly, Tsukasa drew his face toward mine.
これって。
Is he?
シシド。
Shishido.
嘘。
No way.
これ。
Is he really going to? I shut my eyes. I was ready for this. Or maybe I just didn't want it to look. But the next sensation I felt wasn't quite the one I was expecting. Okay, so I was
シシド、
wrong.
これ大丈夫か？
Shishido. What happened here? Huh? He grabbed my arm for some reason. He was staring down at it intently.
何よ、紛らわしいな。
What the hell? What is he doing?
やだ、何これ。
Whoa, what is that? Seriously, I had no idea that was there. Turns out he was just concerned by the strange bruise I had recently received, which had momentarily become visible when I raised my arms. Let me guess. Is it where your broken arm is, from blood covered? It was right around my elbow. Right where Yoshie had grabbed me in my dream.
痛そうだな。
Looks like it hurts.
全然痛くないけど。
It doesn't hurt at all, actually. But
けど？
what?
なんでもないよ。
Never mind. It's nothing. So you're getting you're getting these same kind of bruises that so you're getting the same kind of bruise that, you know, the other members of class 2-9 that did die are getting, and it's at least 5 years prior to the events of Blood Covered. How far can this damn curse stretch? Giving a wry smile, I gently pulled my arm from his grip.
ねえ、司くん。
Hey, Tsukasa?
Huh?
Yeah?
帰る前に一つお願いがあるんだけど。
Before we go home, I have a favor to ask you.
なんだよ。
What is it?
手繋いでもいい？
Would you mind if we held hands?
手
Held hands?
手
Yeah,
ダメかな？
just for a little. Or is that asking too much?
なんでという彼の言葉にはなんとなくと答えた。
When he asked why I wanted to do this, I fed him his own line. I just told him no reason.
そっと指先を掴んだだけの軽いものだったけど、初めて私はお互いの心がつながっているのを感じた気がして、とても嬉しかったのを覚えている。
We only joined fingertips, but for the first time, it really felt like I was connected to another person's heart. I remember feeling so happy. Are we now back to the present? Because I see a miss in front of
ゆい
your
先
name.
生ゆい先生
Yep. Oh, let me guess. You're fondling him. You're assaulting your student. Hey, Miss Yui? Miss Yui!
つかさくん。
Tsukasa.
ゆい先生ってば
Miss Yui, please! I knew I heard that voice before, but who was it? Was I just dreaming? Again? I still felt like I was holding Tsukasa's hand, though.
ゆい先生って手
Miss Yui, your hand! Your hand! Oh, come on. You're just grabbing your pant leg. Huh?
やっと起きた
Good, you're awake.
あら？え？
Huh?
持田くん？
What? Mochida?
そうだよ持田聡だよ
That's right. It's Satoshi Mochida.
と
I was still dazed. I had no idea what was going on. All I knew was that one of my students, Satoshi Mochida, was here. And he looked concerned.
ゆい先生いい加減手を
Miss Yui, your hand is...
あら！
Oh my! I finally realized what he was talking about. I was holding Mochida's hand in my own, and was squeezing it awfully tightly. No, you're not!
やだ！ごめんなさい！私ったら…
Excuse me, please. I'm so sorry. Yep, there's the bruise.
いいけどさゆい先生
It's no
結
problem.
構握力強いんだな
Though I have to say, you have a really strong grip, Miss Yui.
あら、そうこれでも昔はか弱く儚い美少女として巷に名を馳せたものだけど
Do I now? In the past, I was renowned far and wide for being a weak and dainty young beauty, you know.
それどこから突っ込んでいいの
How exactly do I respond to that?
手厳しいわね
Well, you could say something nice. Mochida was a good student. He and I got along well, and we were already falling back into our usual pattern of good-natured ribbing. Except...
ちょっと待ってどうして持田くんがうちにいるの
Wait a minute. Why are you here, Mochida?
それさっき話したじゃん
Well, that's... I told you earlier, didn't I?
その調子じゃ何も覚えてないんでしょ
I guess I shouldn't be surprised you don't remember anything.
何も
What am I supposed to remember exactly?
さっき俺の作ったおかゆ食って薬飲んでまた寝たじゃないか
A
その
little,
時話したのに
a little while ago, you ate some porridge I made and took medicine before passing out again. I told you everything then. You did?
本当に綺麗さっぱり覚えてない
Have you seriously forgotten all of that?
全然
Completely.
笑えないよもう
Laugh. Jeez. Mochida sighed and pointed at the table.
あれ、山崎先生からの届け物。
Class notes from Mr. Yamazaki.
もしかしてわざわざそれを届けに来てくれたの？
Wait, did you come all this way just to deliver those?
そうだよ。
Yeah,
そしたらゆい先生があんまりにひどい状態だったから飯作って。
when I did, you were in a pretty bad way. So I made you some porridge.
あ、キッチン借りていいって言ったのはモネだから。
Oh, but don't worry. I had permission. Monet said I could borrow your kitchen.
そっか、モネちゃんがね。
Monet did he? Well, of course. He's the cat overlord in this house. He can give permission. I stroked Monet's neck, and he lied down contentedly on my futon. Such a pretty kitty. I was getting kind of wrapped up in petting him, as I often did. I almost forgot Mochida was here. Until he let out a huge sigh.
ゆい先生、玄関の鍵は閉めないと不用心だよ。
Also, Miss Yui, leaving your front door unlocked is really dangerous.
あら、開いてた？
Oh, was it open?
うん。
Yeah.
今回ばかりは開いてて助かったけど、でも今後はちゃんと閉めないとダメだからな。
And you're lucky I was the one to discover that. You really need to be more careful.
気をつけるわ。
Duly noted. Thanks.
なんで笑うの？
Did I say something funny?
持田くん、私のお母さんみたいだから。
No. You just sound like my mother.
うわ、複雑。
Yikes. I don't think I like the implications there. I didn't mean to laugh. I must have seemed kind of deranged. But I could always blame it on the fever. Mochida looked at me and let out another sigh. My poor sense of humor must have been getting to him.
でもまあ、だいぶ元気になってきたみたいでよかったよ。
Well, you sure seem a lot better now than you were when I got here. That's something.
そうみたい。
I feel better too.
結構寝てたもんな、ゆい先生。
You slept like a rock, Miss Yui.
そうね。確か今朝風邪でめまいがして、学校にお休みの電話をして、モネちゃんのご飯を用意して、
That's right.
そこから先の記憶がないのよね。
I woke up this morning feeling dizzy and chilled. I called in sick, put out food for Monet, and I don't remember a thing after that.
あれ、コンビニ行ったんじゃないの？
Oh? You don't remember going to the convenience store?
コンビニ？
A convenience store?
うん。冷却シートと弁当があって、
Yeah, I found cold packs and snacks. Let's see.
ほらこれ。レシートの時間。今朝になってるけど。
Here, look. The time on the receipt. It was this morning.
本当だ。
Oh, you're right.
もしかしてゆい先生、コンビニ行ったこと覚えてないの？
How could you possibly not remember going to the store?
うわーもう、しっかりしてくれよ。
Amazing.
まさかパジャマで出かけたりしてないよな。
Seriously, you need to pull yourself together. You didn't go out in your pajamas or anything, did you?
そんなことは
Well-
ないと思うけど。
Well, I don't think I did.
どうかな。
I wouldn't be surprised.
笑ってごまかさない。
Don't try and hide behind that laugh.
ごめんごめん。
Sorry,
持田
sorry.
くん、私のことずっと看病してくれてたの？
Were you taking care of me this whole time, Mochida?
うん。
Uh-huh.
そう。遅くまでごめんなさいね。
Wow. I'm really sorry you had to stay this late. It was already past 10 o'clock in the evening. Yuka is not going to be happy about that missed shopping trip at all. I couldn't believe Mochida had been with me this whole time. I felt both guilty and grateful, and I definitely gained a new respect for him.
おかゆ、まだちょっと残ってるから、腹減ったら食べてよ。
There's still a little porridge left if you get hungry. Thanks.
あとそれから、これ。
And I bought these too.
スーパーの袋？
You went to the supermarket?
冷蔵庫を見たら、何もなかったからさ。
There
ついでに買っておいたよ。
There wasn't anything in the fridge when I checked, so I figured I might as well. The bag was quite heavy. Inside it was a bottle of orange juice, some bananas, canned peaches, apples, and other assorted fruits.
これ
That's
風邪の時って、ビタミンを取るといいんだろう。それ食べて、
vitamins.
早く良くなってよ。
When you're as sick as you were, your body needs all the help it can get to fight back. Think of it like medicine.
持田くん
Oshida. That much fruit couldn't have come cheap, especially for a high schooler. I considered offering to pay him back, but decided against it. I knew he wouldn't take my money. And besides, I really appreciated the fact that he'd gone to all this trouble for me. That was awfully nice of you, Satoshi. Not gonna lie. I'd return the favor another time. If it ever seemed like he was going to be staying late after school, maybe I'd buy him dinner. Or I could help him with preparations for the school festival.
じゃあ俺帰るよ。
So this clearly takes place well before the school festival too. Well, it's getting late. I should go.
あ、大丈夫？
Oh,
道わかるかしら？なんなら途中まで見送りに行くわよ。
will you be okay? Do you know your way back? If you'd like, I can take you at least part of the way.
大丈夫だよ。ゆい先生はおとなしく寝てて。
It's fine. Just go back to sleep, Miss Yui.
まだ本調子じゃないんだし。第一、夜道を女の人一人で歩くなんて危
You're not
険だよ。
you're not better just yet. And besides, it isn't safe for a woman to walk alone at night.
持田くんは優しいね。そういうとこキュンとしちゃう。
Aw, you're such a sweetie. Seeing how much you care just makes my heart skip a beat.
あれ？そういうこと俺に言っていいの？
Oh, does it now? I'm not sure you should be saying something like that to me, Miss Yui. Huh?
なんで？
Why not? Mocha and I joked like this a lot. Usually it made him blush and get adorably embarrassed. But not today. Today he just grinned sheepishly, with a mischievous glint in his eyes. I didn't quite get it. What was his angle?
司くんって誰？先生の恋人？
Who's Tsukasa, Miss Yui? Is he your boyfriend?
どうしてそれ？
How do you...
ゆい先生寝てるときずっとその人のこと呼んでたよ。うなされながら何度も司くん司くんって。
You kept calling his name in your sleep. Tsukasa, Tsukasa, you cried. Lost in some sort of wonderful dream. What?
誰なんだよ。
So, who is he? That crafty Mochida had turned the tables on me. And how embarrassing to know that I'd been calling Tsukasa's name.
それは
Well... I hesitated to answer for a moment. But then figured, what the hell? Why not?
司くんはね、私の初恋の人。
Tsukasa was my first love.
ふーん。
Oh?
その様子じゃ、ゆい先生はよっぽどその人のことが好きだったんだね。
Judging by your actions earlier, you must have seriously been head over heels for him.
え？
What? Why?
だって 先生さっきすごかったよ。俺のこと司って人と間違えてたでしょ。
Well, when I got here, you thought I was Tsukasa. It was unbelievable.
やだ。
Wait, what are you saying?
ゆい先生、顔赤いよ。
Miss Yui, your face is beet red.
これは熱のせいよ、きっと。
That's just my fever, I swear.
まあいいや。そういうことにしてあげる。
Well, that's fine. I'll let you believe whatever you want to believe.
あんまり大人をからかわないで。
Oh, come on. Whatever happened to respecting your elders? You shouldn't mess with adults.
だってこんなゆい先生、めったに見れないからさ。
But you're in rare form today. We never get to see you like this. I wasn't sure he was ever going to give me the full story of all the embarrassing things I'd done in my fevered days. And maybe it was better he didn't. Either way, I was in his debt, so he could tease me all he wanted. Just this once.
やばい。そろそろ帰らないと。ゆかがカンカンだ。
Oh, crap. I have to get going. Yuka's going to be really angry with me. I'm sure you'll survive.
今日はありがとね。もう暗いから気をつけて帰るのよ。
Thanks for everything. It's dark out, so please be careful on your way home.
はーい。
No worries.
それじゃあ先生、食事をきちんととって、頑張って、早く治してくれよ。
And Miss Yui, you be sure to eat right and get better ASAP, okay? I mean, you hear me.
頑張る。
Of course. I'll kick this in no time.
ファイト!
Fight the good fight.
ありがとう。
Thanks.
いい子だな、持田くんは。いかんいかん。あの子は生徒だぞ。
What a good kid, that Mochida. I better be careful, though. He is my student, after all.
おいで、モネちゃん。一緒に寝よっか。
Come here, Monet. You sleep with Mommy tonight.
会いたいな、司くん。
I miss you, Tsukasa. So why did you two break up? Or did you ever actually get together? Encounter number 3, a chronicle of past events. Number 3, clear. Number 4, Purgatory chapter is now playable. And I got some soulful testimonies unlocked in the bonus menu. Well, that was a interesting encounter. Title drop of chapter 3 not intended. So I guess what I'll do for the next episode is that I will find the wrong ends for chapter 3 I have yet to uncover, and then once I do that, I will start chapter 4, Purgatory. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this latest episode of Corpse Party Book of Shadows. If you did and you want to see more content from me, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys in the next episode. Take care.